Fellow Liberians, coronavirus is real and it is in our country, Liberia. Please, let's follow all the preventive measures prescribed by health authorities.
Remember to always wash your hands with soap and water frequently.
Let's cultivate one another.
Please do not shake hands.
Learn to live together as brothers and sisters.
Stay safe.
Without togetherness, we won't have.
If you are sick, go to the nearest hospital or clinic.
And have a peaceful.
Save lives.
Wear a face mask when sick or caring for sick people.
It's our home.
Avoid crowded areas and don't shake hands.
This is the one and only home.
Spread the message, not the virus. Sanitize your hands and surface areas that have been touched by others.
Please use your elbow when you are sneezing.
It's the one and only home that we have.
Please stay at home if you feel sick. Better still, contact the health.
Yes, Mr. How you doing?
And I tell you, in our Liberian way, we say the thing you know about me, you better talk it. So, talk it now or forever hold your peace. And if I will borrow the words of 50-50 team match that cows that have been time before their death. So, you better talk it or you hold your peace. Let me welcome you to another edition of Diaspora Talk here on KMTV. Liberia's #1. As a matter of fact, we are the president of Liberia's #1 online television, a title that I'm promising you that we will keep because we are doing our best to keep the title. And I tell you, my name is Cyrus McGee. I'm sitting here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, and also my colleague Nathan Charles is in Kansas City, Missouri. And this guy said, if I don't say Kansas City, that's trouble. So he's in Kansas City, Missouri, and together we are running this through the power of technology. And on today's edition of the program, we'll talk to the president of the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas, ALJA, Joe Mason. He will be talking to us about his organization virus across the world and Liberia as a whole. And Joe will be talking to us. We'll also join the president of Liberia, Mr. Charles Coffey. So they are all in queue. Let me see what I can bring on the lineup. Joe Mason, Charles Coffey, Nathan Charles is also there. Good afternoon and good evening, guys.
Good evening, Cyrus, and good evening to you, Nathan. Good to see you guys, and it's nice being on the program this afternoon.
Hey, Charles, are you getting us?
Yes, I'm getting you well.
Okay,
So
Mr.
good
Coffee is
evening
there,
to all
even
of you.
Romeo. Yeah,
Yes.
and I know you enjoy LEC because we can see the background.
Yeah,
Propo,
I get hardly see Charles, my man.
Yeah.
Propo.
So Charles,
In the Liberian way, you can say you have to talk. Let
The,
us
the,
try to
the,
get to the light better.
the Congo people can say the prayer, and the
Yeah, the
prayer.
prayer.
the
And
president
the
of the media people
Ukiyo.
in Liberia and the president of the retired but yet is still media people in the US. So, guys, we'll keep you in queue and then we'll give Letson the opportunity to run us through quickly with the coronavirus update, the numbers from around the world and Liberia. And from there, the way we plan to do it is that Charles will keep you monitoring and we will take on Joe. And following the interaction with Joe, we will bring you on the second half of the show. So you can just log on and keep monitoring. When we're ready, we will highlight, hit you up and then you can come back and join us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So Nathan Charles is over to you to give us the update from around the world in Liberia, specifically because our presumptive, no matter what we find ourselves, our presumptive, our country. So let's hear you.
Welcome to our viewers. This is Diaspora Talk, and let's give you highlights from cases around the world. We have total cases around the world, 3,195,000 plus cases around the world, and we have 226 plus deaths. Also, we have those who have recovered, 988,000 so far recovered from coronavirus. Now, let's give you highlights from the countries around the world. Some countries that we see a lot of cases. The United States is reporting new deaths, 1,491, while Spain is reporting a new death of 453. The United States is reporting total deaths of 60,000. They are the highest, followed by Italy. Italy is reporting 27,000 plus in total deaths. They have 323 new cases. France is reporting in total deaths 24,000 plus, and they have some 427 new cases. The UK is also reporting total deaths 26,000 plus. New cases, new deaths in the UK has risen to 4,000 plus new cases. That's alarming. While China is not reporting any new death, but they have over 4,000. Now let's go to our beloved country, Liberia, from the National Public Health Institution. Liberia, I see 13 new patients recover as of 11 p.m. on April 21st. Now we have we have total confirmed cases 101. This should be an old statistics on the website, but we have 100 plus total confirmed cases in Liberia, 8 deaths, and that's the statistics from Liberia. So Cyrus, that's some highlights. I'm sorry that I went to the National Public Health Institute. Apparently their website is not updated, but let me check. I see Liberia total cases is 141. Total deaths is 16 in Liberia. I repeat, we have total deaths in Liberia, 16, total cases 141. That's the highlights from around the world.
All right, Joe. I think you just need to swing your camera a little bit. Joe, are you there?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here.
You have to
here.
rotate into the other mode. I think we got it
Okay.
upside down.
Okay.
And
Am I?
yeah,
Am I? Do I have it right?
yeah, you have it right. Just kill the room from the head a little bit, and we be good.
Okay. I had it in landscape. I'm surprised it's going in portrait mode.
Okay, it's okay like that. I think
Okay.
we just kill the hair roof a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So I think we are good to go. So Nathan, thanks for the update from around the world. And once again, Mr. President, we'd like to say welcome on this edition, and especially on your birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Cyrus. I'm overjoyed that God has allowed me to see yet another birthday, and so I'm extremely thankful to God for this day. Thankful for family. Thankful for friends. So I'm excited, and like I said, it's It's tough to celebrate a birthday when you're going through this pandemic, right? Especially when there are friends, the relatives of yours who are suffering as a consequence of the virus. But that said, I'm still grateful for the grace of God on my life.
Though we don't have a birthday cake, but if we ask you to make a wish, what would that be?
Well, that when the corona settles down, that I will get my cake eventually.
So I think the major wish is for Corona to settle down because that's the bottom line. And
Precisely,
just a joke, I got
precisely.
one friend who's a fan of Arsenal, and he always says when Arsenal gets to win the Champions League, oh, Neto is blowing out.
Happy birthday to you.
So that's a good
Happy birthday
and my
to
friend will always
you.
say when Arsenal gets to win the Champions League, you have a very big party. So
Yeah.
I'm like, my man, just tell us that you're not going to have a party. We're not expecting a party because we don't know when you'll win the Champions League. But I think with this, we are all hopeful that Corona will be away very soon and we can all celebrate in a grand style.
Yeah,
So
guys. Before you move on, I just want to say how grateful I am for my family and the many friends that I have. Today I was inundated with messages, texts, telephone calls, and I'm just midway in the day. It just shows you that friends do mean a lot, and I'm grateful for family and friends even as I celebrate today. So thank you all so much, all of you out there who send me messages, texted me, call me. I'm extremely grateful for your friendship. Thank you.
all right, so we kick the ball rolling with the current situation around the world, and our country, Liberia, is of no exception. And your organization that you had, the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas, uh, recently joined the fray of organizations and goodwill partners as it relates to the fight against COVID-19. Firstly, tell us what do this mean for ALJA and its membership?
Well, before I do that first, I thought to mention this before I get into the discussion. I want to commend you two, Cyrus and Nathan, for the extraordinary work you all are doing in terms of keeping the community informed about what's happening in the community, especially during this coronavirus period. At some point, I used to be at the other end of the microphone, and I know how difficult it is to do a program, especially the ones that are doing. And I think we're doing this 3 times a week. It takes a lot to organize and present this program. And I just want to say thanks to the both of you. And as members of AJA, I want to let you guys know how proud I am of the work you're doing. So thank you all so much.
It's a
Thank you.
pleasure, sir.
And we will continue to critique you guys. Right now, I'm doing the praises live on KMTV.
We are
I'm
open.
doing.
We are widely open to criticism, to corrections, and like we always say to our people, when you watch us, if you think there is something we need to do better, our fans, our followers out there, let us know. And especially those of you who we watch in the media and thought to follow your footsteps.
Yeah.
Some of you will learn from along the way. So we are still open. Like the old people say, gray hair can never be older than eyebrows. So we'll always take those corrections.
Yeah, of course, and I'm sure there are a lot of our colleagues now, part of AJA and also of AJA, who will call you and commend you or critique you because I think our ultimate goal is for you guys to continue to do the best job you're doing. So thank you all so much.
You're
Um,
welcome.
to the question you asked, we are experiencing a pandemic unlike none other we've experienced before, not only in Liberia but across the world. And for our organization, ALJA, we live here in the United States, and given the sophistication in terms of uh, uh, the medical history of this country, given the sophistication it has, and it still remains the epicenter of the coronavirus, we shudder to think what will happen when the virus takes a foothold in Liberia. We are not there yet. So what we're trying to do here at ALJA is to be a part of the solution. So at a teleconference we held on the 19th of April, we decided that we need to be involved in the solution. We need to be involved as an organization in helping to curb the spread of the coronavirus in Liberia. But we realized that whatever we do, it will require financial resources. So we decided as an organization for our members to voluntarily contribute whatever they could to this effort. To date, I'm happy to report that our members have responded overwhelmingly to this call. We've also engaged partners of ALJA, friends and partners who appreciate the work we do consistently over the years and have identified with us in terms of what we've tried to do. So we've reached out to them, and they've been really, really supportive in terms of what we're doing. So they've given us their support. We've gotten some contribution from some of our partners. Others have said to us that they will contribute eventually. So we're really excited about where we are, and come the deadline of the 3rd of May that we set for ourselves to raise the contribution we've voluntarily promised to raise, we hope that we'll be in a good place to be able to contribute in our own way to helping mitigate the spread of the virus in Liberia.
So with this, before you got to this point, we understand that you had a period of prayer and reflection. What was it like on that?
It was wonderful. It was the first one we've held, and I know since we held the night of prayer and encouragement, there's been calls by some of our members for us to repeat the process and make it something more permanent. It was held against the backdrop of the fact that, like I said earlier, we who are members of ALJA reside in the United States, and I said earlier, the United States is the epicenter of the coronavirus now. There's some of our colleagues who were infected with the virus. Some have recovered, thankfully. There were family members of members in our organization who were themselves infected with the virus. We're happy they are also making progress. But beyond the coronavirus itself, there are quite a few of our members who have their own health challenges. And we felt it was important for us as an organization, even as we went through this crisis, to come together and just offer a word of prayer for not just our members, but for everyone out there who is struggling as a result of this coronavirus. So it was an exciting and wonderful evening. It was an evening that reconnected us spiritually. It bounded us, I think, even closer. And I'm really, really happy that we did it. And I want to be grateful to the Reverend Swadede, Dr. Alexander Red, Priscilla Queer, and Sister Melissa Anna. All those people were involved in helping to plan our night of encouragement and revival. And we're hoping that this is something, hopefully in the future, that we can continue to do. But I think it was wonderful. It brought us closer together and renewed our faith in the fact that those of us who believe in God realize that this too shall come to pass.
Nathan, I know you want to come in.
So, sorry, I mute my microphone. Thanks for the initiative, Mr. Mason. But I'm concerned, how much dollars and cents do you need for this project, and who will benefit directly, and why?
Well, we need as much money as we can get. I'm sure the more money we get, the better, and more substantial our impact will be. So we're not putting any, because it's voluntary, we are not putting any limit to it. We will be able to provide the services that we can provide within the means that we have. So no, we've not established or put a limit to the amount we're raising. We're just raising as much money as we can possibly raise. In terms of who benefits, at our meeting, there were a variety of views and opinions in terms of who do we direct our resources to or the contribution to. One of the consensus emerging out of our meeting was that we establish a committee that will discuss potential beneficiaries of our COVID-19 relief effort and oversee the utilization of that fund so it is appropriately expended. So that's where we are right now. The committee is headed by our Vice President, Mr. Pee Wee Bissett. It includes other members of ALJA, and the committee, I think, will be meeting shortly. I saw a message from the Vice President last evening, to the effect that it will be meeting shortly. And once the committee meet and decide how we expend the money, they will get back to the organization and will let the general membership know. So right now, we've not decided who benefits from ALJA COVID-19 fundraising effort and how we direct the money. But once we do that, and once the committee establishes that, we will let the membership know.
So, are you open to accept money from politicians, humanitarians? And are you only focusing on money, or are you focusing on items to combat COVID that you need too?
Yeah, no, not just money. I think one of the challenge when we talked about raising money to purchase supplies was that how do we get the supplies in Liberia right now, given the logistical hurdle of flying or taking stuff back and forth in the midst of the virus. So no, if there's a way that we can get donation in terms of supplies, and we find a means to have those supplies transported to Liberia, we certainly will be able to receiving the supplies. But we thought the easiest and best means of reaching out right now, void all the logistical hurdle, will be raising money that we can direct to the relief effort in Liberia.
So are you open to receiving money from politicians, humanitarian, or just individual?
Mr. Mason, are you there?
I'm here.
So Nathan is asking further whether your organization is open to receiving money from politicians and other humanitarians.
There are a number of different people who are contributing money. And I don't think it's an organization, mind you, ALJA as an organization is neutral. And so, we don't tend to align ourselves one way or the other, as long as the contribution from that person is done in a manner that doesn't promote them, and the goal is to promote the effort we're trying to achieve. I think we'll be open to doing that. Like I said, we're not engaged in the process of promoting any politicians. So I realize that politicians these days are contributing to the relief effort, but they have their own strings attached. I'm seeing buckets with politicians' name on it,
So we expect to see the materials or items from ALJA with the president's picture or the organization's name on them as well.
You mean this president?
Yeah. The president with small p.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There will be no bucket. There will be absolutely nothing with this president name on it. If anything, whatever we do will be done to promote our organization, ALJA, and not any particular individual. And so, no, absolutely not. Which is why I think it's really disingenuous for people who are helping right now, especially the politicians, to want to politicize the help they're giving their people. Sometimes I wonder, and I hear too about the We Are Project. The We Are Project. I see the We Are Project bucket. I hear the We Are Project song. What is the We Are Project? Is the We Are Project any different from the Liberian government effort? Can we delineate what the We Are Project is versus what the Liberian government effort is? So I think at some point people need to realize that this is a crisis, this is a pandemic, and everything we do should be done to help the people and not try to bring any attention to ourselves.
Now you with that comment you further brought me into my next question about the fight against COVID-19 in Liberia. From your overall assessment, what can you say about that?
Let me start nationally, and I think as an organization, we commended the government for some of the efforts they were making. When the state of emergency was declared and the lockdown period started, we thought it was important for the government to not just declare the state of emergency, but to be able to help the people, because we understand that people are going through really tough time in the country. And if you're going to impose a state of emergency and have the people stay at home, the least you can do as a government is to provide the means for them to be able to stay at home or make it easier for them to be able to stay at home. So we commended them for some of the measures they announced, including the $25 million that was being directed towards the purchase of rice. The government also promised to ensure that electricity and water supplies were going to be current. I don't know how far that process is going, and that is something, again, we need to review. So we commended the government. Earlier on, too, I think there were a lot of security officers that were really overzealous in terms of how they implemented the lockdown. Citizens were brutalized unnecessarily, and we called them out as well. So we'll continue to follow the process. There's been some missteps. The government has done some good as well. So as an organization, we'll continue to follow the process and speak what we think we need to speak, commend when we need to commend, and criticize when we need to criticize. I think that is our role as a responsible organization.
All right. So with that, I know Nathan will want to touch on other issues about Liberia, but with that, what do you think could be done to step up the fight if we must succeed as a country against COVID-19?
One of the things that needs to be done is that people need to realize that this virus is not a death sentence. I was pleased, and let me also say that our condolences to all Liberians, families of Liberians here in the United States and in Liberia who've died as a consequence of this virus. I also want to say our hearts go out to those who are non-infected with the virus and at the 40 military hospitals or in different parts of the country, or those who are even here in the United States who are in hospitals and trying to recover. Our prayers are with you. But it's also important, and I listened to the information minister today, and I'm happy that the minister seems to be doing well, and we are all encouraged by that. We also want to reach out to those government officials that have been infected by the virus and wish them well. Look, we all are Liberians, and I think it's unfortunate that there will be Liberians who will want to wish other Liberians ill because they are suffering as a consequence of this virus. Mind you, the coronavirus knows no boundary. It knows no color. It knows no race. Anyone can be infected with this virus. It might be this one person today. It just might be you tomorrow. So it's important for all of us as Liberians to be supportive of each other, even when one person is infected by the virus. But to the larger question you asked, I think generally Liberians have the tendency to think that when they are sick, they will be stigmatized, especially with this virus. We need to be open. We need to be transparent because that will stop the mode of transmission. If you are sick with the virus, it's important for you to be tested. All right? It's important for you to submit yourself to testing. It's important for your contacts to be traced. It's important for folks to know what is going on. Otherwise, if that is not done, then we keep affecting other people in the process. So I was really pleased today to hear that, the minister was doing well and that, the contacts that they're associated with will also be traced. Let me also add this point. I understand, and I listened to the deputy press secretary speak yesterday, and I know there's been stories circulating about the president being tested and he was tested positive. The deputy press secretary had debunked that story. But let me say this. The president is the leader of our country. No one person set a better example than the president of the country. Given the fact that the president was in close proximity with some of his top ministers who are non-infected, I think it is important for the president himself to get tested. And I hear the deputy press secretary say the president is healthy. I hear the presidential press secretary say, the presidential minister of state for presidential affairs say, the president is healthy. We all know you can be healthy and still be a carrier of the virus. I think they call it asymptomatic. That's the medical people term. But I think the president will set a shining example for all of us and for Liberians in general to tell them, look, if you, for some reason, suspect that you came in contact with someone who has the virus, go get tested. So I urge the president to get tested because you see, the president is our leader. We need him healthy. We need him well. And let him allay the fear some people have that because he came in close contact with some of his top ministers, that he might be having the virus. You know, it's not enough for you to tell us the president is well. Let the president get tested and let us know what the results are.
All right, Joe Mason, he's the head of the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas, talking about his organization's own effort as it relates to the COVID-19 fight and the fight so far in Liberia. Nathan, I'm sure you're still wanting to come back.
I just wanted for Joe to throw light on the communication strategy in Liberia for COVID-19. What's your take on it? Is it effective from the information aspect to our people? You are a communication expert.
You know, I think they're doing the best they can, but one of the things I think they need to review from time to time is whether the lockdown is effective. Because, you know, I know it's extended by another 2 weeks. We need to constantly review the strategy we have at the moment and find out what is working, what is not working. Also, it appears to be that a lot of government officials, you know, are testing positive. Why? You know, and I know they've been meetings, you know, numerous times. Is it possible that instead of meeting physically, you know, they can meet, you know, virtually like most people are doing now? You know, is it possible that they can cut down the size of government officials at any particular meeting? You know, I think they have to look at the modus operandi right now in terms of how they're operating relative to the coronavirus and their response, and see what adjustments they can make to avoid this really high rate of the virus infecting government officials. You know, because at the rate it's going right now, if this continues, you know, we will probably have quite a few government officials in quarantine or self-isolation and very little people left to run the country. You know, so I think they need to constantly review the communication strategy and the way they're operating and make adjustments when necessary.
All right, Joe Mason, and we should be joined very shortly by Mr. Charles Coffey, but Joe accepted to come on, and especially taking away time from your birthday. I know it's a huge thing especially with the family and all that in this social distancing birthday year. So
You having a drive-by party?
maybe the ALJA members should organize a drive-by party.
But sorry, let me make this point. It's an important point I want to make as you guys begin to wrap up and join Charles. I listened with horror and consternation today to the Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia, Councillor Selma Serena Cephas, assured basically that the government will begin to close down media institutions, seize their equipment for reporting what he calls fake news. He even went a step further, that the government will, quote unquote, hunt Liberians who are on social media are promoting fake news. Listening to this, Serena Cephas speaks was stunning. The man is abrogating unto himself the powers to arrest Liberian, the powers to close down media institution without any recourse. This is the road that leads to tyranny and dictatorship. Let me say this as well. As an organization, we do not condone irresponsible reporting. We continue to call on our colleagues, you know, to be responsible in their reporting, to remember to stick to the ethics of the profession, to check and counter-check the stories as much as possible. But there will be flaws, there will be mistakes. they will get it wrong sometimes. But for the Solicitor General, given everything that's happening in Liberia, given all the work that they have to do, to begin to now police social media and begin to close down radio stations and newspapers and seize their property, we condemn it in the strongest possible term. And as an organization, we will continue to call out the government if they do that. We hope it's just a threat. But the Solicitor General, I think, is abrogating powers unto himself that he should not have. No Liberian, the Constitution, as far as I know, has not been suspended. People still have their rights. The legislature is operating, the judiciary is still operating. So I just want to sound this caveat to the Solicitor General that he cannot, should not execute what he just said today in that press conference. We will continue to watch the process, and we hope, like I said, it's just a threat. But we'll condemn it in the strongest possible term.
All right, Joe. So on this note, we ask you, like we always ask our guests, if you are to talk to your people about the measures as it relates to the preventive measures against COVID-19, what would be that major one? We know there are several. If you are to just pick out one, what would be that major one?
The way the virus spreads, I think is people going out when they have no business going out. So stay home. Stay home if you don't need to go out. And then, continue to, wash your hands as much as possible. Wear masks, because I think, when you wear masks, you prevent spreading the virus to other people, and other people don't spread it to you. So those in that order would be the three most important ones I will list. Stay at home if you don't have to be out there. Wash your hands and be sure to wear your mask.
Thank you very much, Joe Mason, president of the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas, ALJA, and we can now relieve you now to go and have the rest of the social distancing birthday and enjoy yourself. God bless you and have yourself many, many more years to come.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for the opportunity to be on KMTV. Thanks for the work you do. Let me say thanks to the staff of KMTV too. They've been an incredible partner to ALJA, and we're looking forward to continued partnership in the years ahead.
Thank you so much, and bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. Joe Mason right there. He's the head of the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas, ALJA. And we will take this very, very quick break. When we come back, we will join the president of the President of Liberia, Mr. Charles Coffey, who will be joining us from Monrovia. And don't go away. Stick and stay. We'll be right back in split minutes.
Looking for a quality and affordable insurance company? Then look no further. Peter Massaco Insurance, located in central New Jersey, is one of the best around. Peter Massaco Insurance specializes in homeowners insurance, auto insurance, life insurance, business insurance, and many more. We even offer a free financial planning consultation. We partner with over 20 top-rated companies to make sure we provide affordable prices to our clients. We have a full bilingual staff to fit your needs as well. Let Peter Massaco Insurance help you today.
So you clearly understanding the dynamics and the kind of course of action that we want to charge. Let me clearly lay out for you what Article 9 of the 1986 Constitution says. Chapter 9, I'm referring to Chapter 9. Under Chapter 9, Article 85, it says, the President may, as Commander-in-Chief, order a portion of the armed forces of Liberia into a state of combat readiness to fight any threat against the Republic. Under Article 86, it says, the President may, in consultation with the Speaker of the House of Representatives and the President pro tempore, declare and proclaim the state of emergency. Under that same article, it says, it says, acting pursuant thereto, the President may suspend certain basic fundamental constitutional rights of Liberian citizens. And what are the rights? For example, the freedom of assembly, social distancing that you're talking about, There's no more under the new arrangement where you see a group of citizens gather without masks. You see, for example, there's a new normal. I'm wearing a mask. People gathering out here and there, they don't even encourage people getting together. Under that same chapter or the same article, there's a subsection B, the issue of free speech by law, by that declaration, by that curtailing of that freedom of assembly, effectively might also affect that particular aspect of free speech. However, this government has been quite tolerant in allowing people to clearly and distinctly express their view. And the reason is, for us, those of us in public service have come from the media landscape, from the background of the media. I have argued consistently that the best tool to fight coronavirus is through the mass media. So I have opted for the media to be supported. However, some institutions, for reasons best known to themselves, decide to use the mass media as a tool against the fight on coronavirus. And by so doing, they are disseminating information that are fake, malicious, baseless, and unjustified. If you choose to disseminate unverified information to the detriment of the state, you're certainly asking us to take two effective actions. One, beginning today, there will be no more warning. And I'll repeat, I am the Solicitor General and Chief Prosecutor of this Republic. There will be no more warning. Any media institution that chooses to spread fake news will just move in and seize your equipment and will keep it and will ask the revocation of your license until after the coronavirus. And even after that.
Well, that's the Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia, Seaman Serenas Cephas. You listen to him there. With strict jacket warning as it relates to the media and quote unquote fake news. And you heard his words clearly. That's going to be the final warning, and they're going to move in, shut down media institutions, take your equipment, keep them till maybe after coronavirus, and possibly revoke your license and probably put you to a court contest. We've been joined by the president of Liberia, Mr. Charles Coffey. Welcome.
Thank you, Cyrus, and thanks to your colleagues, Nathan, and the rest.
Yeah. I know it's not an easy task. How is Monrovia?
Yeah, Monrovia is fine. Monrovia being the headquarters of Liberia, everything, normally different before up into it's calm. It's just that all of us are observing the health measures and other protocols put into place as a result of the coronavirus.
Now you've listened to the Solicitor General in his presentation today. What response do we have now from the President of Liberia as it relates to what Councillor Serena Cephas laid out today?
Councillor Cephas is a legal practitioner. So to just make a general comment, statement that they are going to engage in the closure of media institutions for what is best you refer to as fake news, we think is overstated. The press union has condemned the statement, and we urge him to retract the statement. The press union does subscribe to high level professionalism and good journalism, but we cannot compromise the core values and norms.
Oh my God, we getting Charles breaking there. And Charles, are you getting us?
All right. Okay, sir. I think I'm getting back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, we said we listened to Councillor Cephas. I was in, and we're breaking in. This is a very terrible situation. think it's the network.
Yeah, we understand.
We
All
understand. Go
right.
ahead. We're getting you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So we listen to Councillor Cephas. Councillor Cephas is a legal practitioner. So he should be cognizant of the fact that this country is of law, is not of men. He cannot abrogate to himself authority that has judicial implication. So the president has since condemned his statement, describing it as unacceptable. We have a democratic nation. This is not a dictatorship. So he cannot close down any radio stations without due process or close down any newspaper without due process. We'll be monitoring him. We think his statement was overstated. The press union has a responsibility, and we will not compromise the norms and core values of the union intended to ensure the protection and safety of media in the country and create a free ventilation for the expression of ideas in our country, freedom of expression and freedom of the press. We have the three branches of government effective, they are working. So he cannot close down media institution. We think that statement, he said a statement out of the pressure on government to engage in the fight against the coronavirus.
Now, he stated that with the state of emergency, there are certain rights which extend, according to him, to some point, freedom of speech that should be either suspended or minimized a little bit. What do you have to say about that?
No, that is not part of the state of emergency. This is not about a rebel incursion in the country. The country is not fighting a rebel war. It's pandemic that even was brought into the country by some of the government officials. And the ordinary Liberians are victims of circumstances. So the modern form to handle all of these things, the state of emergency, is to be polite and use persuasive messages to encourage our people to leave the stage of denial and
And
freedom of speech cannot be suspended. The various media institutions will not be operational. So the rights of Liberians, of course, are being hampered as a result of the coronavirus because there's no congregating a large number of religious institutions are also observing that. But the country still operates under the three branches of government. The court system are operational. The legislature is still in session. The executive is working.
and if you're there watching, pardon us as
So
we all
President
know. Yeah, go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, so that's it. Even though we the press union subscribe to high level professionalism and responsible journalism, and we query those who will violate ethical principles. We have a standard of the press union, and we have into place a national media council. We have a lot of mechanisms put into place. If he deem any institution of being in violation of ethical principles, its responsibility is to bring that to the attention of the press union. We have the mechanism to look into cases of unprofessionalism, and punitive measures can be instituted against the institution concerned. But to say government is going to close down institution, quote unquote, for fake news or unprofessionalism, then it will be a complete violation of their rights, which of course the president will not condone.
Later, I know you want to come on.
So, what are you doing? Not just talking. What are you doing to ensure that government don't shut down media institution? Because they have sent Serena Seafor to inform the media and the world that they are coming after you if you report fake news. What are you doing? Are you working with other organizations to ensure that that don't happen?
Yeah, he just had a press conference today and he made such statement. And we were in meeting with WHO. You know, we have representation of media practitioners across the country to train journalists and encourage them to sensitize the Liberian people about the coronavirus. So we are in the fight against this virus for the sake of our people. So what we expect of the government is to cooperate with the media. It's not possible that you can police social media. So we are in collaboration with human rights institutions in the country. The judicial system is operational. We can challenge it in court because there are processes that you can use to close down media institution. You have to go to court. and the court must approve that, but he cannot do that by himself. The state of emergency did not include the suspension of freedom of expression. The entire Constitution, in fact, the Constitution is not suspended. It's a resolution, and that resolution by the legislature also talk about freedom of expression, and people should still assemble, but in smallest numbers. So you can't close down radio station or newspaper because you say fake news on social media or radio stations.
He's acting under the state of emergency. According to him, that gave them the right. Some rights are being seized.
Yeah, but this type of state of emergency is not rebel incursion, as I indicated, that you have subversion in the country and people trying to unseat government. No, this state of
But
emergency.
fake news could lead to that. Fake news could lead to that.
No, it's not possible for anybody to say fake news all over the world. Some people can engage in misinformation. So unless we investigate the news they talk about, then of course we have identified whether it's fake news or not in the institution. But there was no evidence, there was no reference made to any institution, there was no any story he made reference to that he portrayed as fake news. The general comment he made has a propensity to undermine press freedom and hamper the work of the media and put the media against the security and the public. So this is a civilized institution. So I don't think there is fake news, but he can even not do away with social media. The president does not police social media. So what we need to do in this country is that the problem, if there's any institution engaged in fake news or spreading information that have the propensity to undermine the fight against the coronavirus, then we'll hold the government responsible. Because there are a lot of institutions that are politically owned. Political ownership of media institutions in this country is a problem. We brought that to their attention. They have an institution in this country, a radio station, that is like a running propaganda for the government. The last time that station talked about one of the government officials planning to overthrow government. A lot of TV stations.
Which station was that? Which station was that? Are you making? Which station was that?
We made reference to Freedom FM.
Okay.
Freedom FM had a broadcast, and we thought that broadcast was not reconciliatory, was bad. We made reference to that institution. The government did not do anything. Most of the time, you hear government officials using that institution. So the government must be responsible for that. But to generally say they're going to close institution because of fake news, the president will not condone that. We will challenge them in the court of competent jurisdiction, and we believe it's a threat. He has to reconsider his comment because he's a lawyer. He knows the right thing must be done.
Now let's ask you generally, what would you grade members of the media to be like, especially during this COVID-19 period? Have you sensed anything as it relates to fake news, unprofessionalism?
And what are those media?
That has not come to the attention of the press here. The reference I made to such institution was not during the coronavirus time, but all the media institutions are discussing the coronavirus. How can citizens cooperate with state authority to get the virus out of the country? I think what has happened, like in recent time, is about a publication that the president was tested positive of the coronavirus. And the president's office provided clarification that the president was well, the information was untrue. So I think that has prompted CFO's anger to have come and issue such a threat to the media. And an incident cannot be preclude to look at the entire media and say you're going to close radio stations now for fake news or newspaper or online.
You talk about punishment to media institutions or individual members who might go wrong ethically. What are some of those powers the PUL carries to kind of punish somebody that will make them deviate from such? Because all we see is condemnation, condemnation, and condemnation.
No, we have a process in place. We have the Grievance and Ethics Committee transformed to National Media Council. It has the expertise of the civil society, the religious community represented with two, one from the Council of Churches, one from the Muslim Council. You have academia on that committee, so that's not journalists alone. So it's a 9-member committee that probe into the complaints emanating from
some technical.
that committee goes through it. Yeah, depending on the gravity of the case, then they recommend punitive measures. Either you are suspended from the press union, we fine you, or you retract the story, and so forth. And people have been responding to that. Political parties, leaders who deemed that there were some reports against them that were unprofessional, they brought the cases to the press union. We sent the cases to the National Media Council. They investigated, and those journalists who were wrong apologized, and the story was rectified. Some of them were removed from on air for several weeks, and some of them were suspended, and they were moving forward. So it's been working. So we have this understanding that bring a complaint to the press union or to the National Media Council, so we can probe into that. So we've been working with this. So if the government has a concern or complaint about fake news, quote unquote.
The Liberian network there, Nathan.
Yes, some
Yes.
technical hitches.
We hope he can get back on. Probably we need to let him out and reconnect. So Charles, if you are there, you can reconnect. Before we wrap it up, let's touch on other issues. And he said it clearly that if the government wants to shut down media institutions for what they call fake news, there are processes to shutting down an entity. And Little, you and I know very well there were times where media institutions were dragged to court.
Yes, exactly. If you take them to court for something like the Front Page Africa and other uh, independent newspaper, these are several media institutions that went to court. Some proved that the case, some did not. But just saying that, look, we are in a civilized country now. If a solicitor general comes out to say we will walk to your facility, we'll seize your equipment,
we will move on you,
and we'll move on you. You mean you go in to harm people, you go in to hurt people, you could even kill them, and such a threat.
And we saw a similar thing 2011 after the elections,
Yeah.
when Kings FM, Royal Communications, Kings FM, Clyde TV, and City FM, Love TV, Love FM, as well as Power TV, Power FM, they were all shut down with one court order.
Yeah.
So security forces went at night, shut those institutions down with court orders. We were dragged to court. We stayed in court till after elections, results were announced, and all before a judge threw the case out. So, and that is one of the things we need to look at. I think then, if I may be right, now Solicitor General Sema Serena Cephas was one of the lawyers representing those institutions in court. And and at this point right now, there is a need for more peace pipe to be smoked, because the media plays a greater role in this entire fight against COVID-19. And Charles just messaged me that his network is probably messing with him. Yeah, the network is bad, he said. And we really hope we could also talk about other issues as it relates to the resignation of former president
Peter
of Liberia,
Kofoe.
President Peter Kofoe, from
And another member.
the committee set up by the president to investigate alleged malpractices against media practitioners. So those are other things we thought we would have gotten on the chest of Mr. Kofoe, but unfortunately, one of our greatest enemy in this style of broadcast or podcast is internet. So, but at least we got the response from the PUL, Nathan.
Yes, I mean they condemned the action and they said they are going to work with government to ensure that do not happen, because we don't want people to say that okay, government is hunting a particular media entity and stuff like that. If you have issues with any story, it's just cool that you take the people to court and everything is done in code. But rushing, seizing the equipment and brutalizing the employees, that's not civilized. I
Yeah,
listened
because
to him.
if you move on somebody
Yeah.
or an institution, there might be a tussle.
Oh,
People
we
might
already
get
have some
brutalized.
unprofessional security officers. We already have it. We are seeing it on videos. And if you there and you tell them, hey, move on these people, knowing that they are loyal security officers of army, are loyal to the government and the president, and they will want to do all kinds of things. We saw that with the state of emergency. And Serena Seafor, of all, should be advising the government properly because he has been championing media's plaque before.
As a
And
matter
we,
of fact,
yeah,
he's a journalist by profession.
fine. So I mean, when I
He's a
listened to
journalist
him,
by profession.
I was like, wow, they say power corrupts. They say power corrupts. Something there's a saying. I'm like, what is he saying? As a solicitor general, you should be there to advise the government. Hey, we should not go viral. Let's do this. Let's do that. Those who are
And yeah, go ahead, Nathan.
those who are reporting the fake news, how can we work with the president of Liberia to identify them and to work with them? Now, our country now is suffering from COVID. We are fighting COVID. This fight must be focused. Let us focus all our attention, our resources, our energy. But if you start hating the media, you're getting it wrong. Even in the great US, people are reporting. People who never reported Donald Trump was positive with coronavirus. People reported. Big institution
they push
reported
Donald
because
to the wall to come and
journalists report
give his
from
test.
you don't have journalists report from what they see too. I don't have to be an expert. If I see with Eugene Nangwe or 4 or 5 days ago, I can assume. First of all, we spoke to Dr. Moses Zia. He said that 50% of people who have the virus don't know they have it.
Yeah, and if you listen to Minister Nangwe this morning on the VOA, he said it clearly that he's not
Yeah.
showing no symptom.
Yeah, you
But
know.
his test result came positive, and he's not the first to be tested positive without showing symptoms. There are people that are testing positive because of the environment they found themselves in. If it is true that the DEA boss, the late, died of COVID-19, and there are reports that these people had security meetings where over 30 senior level officials attended, definitely if I was in that meeting, I would request a test. And I'm sure
Yeah.
that's why Minister Nangwe did, because he said he was not showing symptoms. He never felt
Yeah.
sick. So probably he just requested a test, and the test came back positive. There are different resistance that we have. People will have it, they will keep it for a long time. And one thing I took from him this morning is that it's better we report these things sooner. If you
Yeah.
feel you come in contact with somebody and they've died or they tested positive, it is your own life. Go ahead and seek tests because we don't know. People might not show them. So I mean, like the ALJA president put it, I think that stems from I mean the entire fake news, quote unquote fake news of the president's being positive, stem from the fact that his officials are coming down, and
Yeah, but I
like
mean,
many people would think that
everybody
the
would think
president,
that.
yeah, the
Yeah.
president needs to get tested and clear the doubts. So we hope that this will be done. And on behalf of this platform, let's wish our speedy recovery to our good friend Minister Nangwe and other officials of government, all Liberians who are battling this COVID
Yeah.
19. Whether in Liberia, around the world, we are with you all in prayers, and we hope that we can get rid of this thing and return to our normal and active lifestyle. So I can't wait for that time.
I think when I return to that lifestyle, some people will be still afraid because this virus, like Lamin Bagwell said, one of our guests, that this virus will continue to remain on the surface of the earth. It will be like AIDS or Ebola, but I mean, it will be minimized. So,
Like
but
they tell us every year to take the flu shot
yeah,
because
fine.
we hope that we can get it to a point that
Okay,
we will be
somebody,
able.
okay, Raymond Hogan, he said power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That was what I was trying to say with
Oh,
Serena
that's
Seafors.
that's veteran
Yeah,
Raymond Oliver
yeah,
Harger,
the
and
grumpy Don.
yeah, the Grumpy Don.
He's somewhere in Charlotte, yeah, North Carolina, somewhere there.
Okay,
Yeah,
Raymond, thanks so
he
much
always say yes
for your
sir,
comment. Yes,
Raymond, yes
sir.
sir.
And the big voice. you know. So we like to wish you guys all of the best. I think on this note we
And
can call it
yeah,
a show, Nathan, except you have something else you want to add on.
just to inform my Liberian people or those who are fearing, let us take this coronavirus serious. It's not about big shot. It's not about who you are in society. It's not about how many money or wealth you have. Let us take tests. If you feel symptoms, report yourself for testing. Let the government of Liberia provide free testing. Let them go out and test people, random testing. They shouldn't wait for people to be sick. They should not ask people to come to the hospital when they are sick, because traveling through that means is dangerous. Another thing is government is asking people to wear face masks and other protective gears. They need to also provide it. I was watching the channel broadcast, Mozambique and other countries. Officers are in the streets providing face masks to people. Just today, since Monday, a face mask is sold for $100. Sewing face masks, $50 and plus dollars. Our people don't have it. So there is a need that government provide masks to people who are in the streets. I see they say police officers and security officers are asking people for that. Some people want to protect themselves, but I cannot use one face mask for 1 week and it's now usable. So I'm just not protecting myself. So let us do some other work as we call on our colleagues and our Liberian people to keep safe. Social distancing is not happening in Liberia at all. I can tell you, Cyrus, there is a need that our people follow all health procedure.
Yeah. A need for us to follow all health procedure that Nathan put it. And we hope that on this note, we hope that the government will kind of settle out a point with the media. And we also, Nathan, need to call on our colleagues who are involved into reporting what is not ethical to kind of deviate, because it won't help the fight. Like the old people say, you tell the dog not to eat a fish, tell the fish not to smell. We all need to play our role, because when we send out wrong information, information is like water. If it is wasted, you can get it. You know, you can smell somebody's character and apologize, but it would take a lot for other people to understand that you did not really mean what you said. So we'll all encourage everyone. Let us fight together. Let us do it as a team, because we have one country to return to, no matter where we are, and we all have to protect that country. So on that note, Nathan, I'd like to
Yeah.
wish you all the best. We see you on Friday, and have yourself a wonderful time, guys. Keep
You
safe,
still enjoying the
and
birthday?
my man, that next year we're doing all celebration. I told you all celebrations. I have postponed to next year. Have yourself a good time. And
And to
let's wish everybody.
all our Muslim brother, we
Oh
say,
yes,
yeah, we say pray for our nation. Salam alaikum, alaikum salam, and keep fasting and praying for
and
Liberia. We
I
love you
understand
very much.
the Ramadan this year is also social distancing, and we hope that you put into place the measures. Pray via social media. Probably use the
Looking
technologies
for equality.
available. It is Zoom or whatever. You can converge over there and do your prayer. Keep safe, brothers, as we all pray and hope that you go through a wonderful amount of Ramadan. Bye bye.
Looking for a quality and affordable insurance company? Then look no further. Peter Massico Insurance, located in central New Jersey, is one of the best around. Peter Massico Insurance specializes in homeowners insurance, auto insurance, life insurance, business insurance, and many more. We even offer a free financial planning consultation. We partner with over 20 top-rated companies to make sure we provide affordable prices to our clients. We have a full bilingual staff to fit your needs as well. Let Peter Massico Insurance help you today.
Fellow Liberians, coronavirus is real and it is in our country, Liberia. Please, let's follow all the preventive measures prescribed by health authorities.
Remember to always wash your hands with soap and water frequently.
Let's cultivate another.
Please do not shake hands.
Learn to live together as brothers and sisters.
Stay safe.
Without togetherness, we won't have.
If you are sick, go to the nearest hospital or clinic.
And have a peaceful.
Save lives.
Wear or face masks when sick or caring for sick people.
It's our home.
Avoid crowded areas and don't shake hands.
This is the one and only home.
Spread the message, not the virus.
Sanitize your hands and surface areas that have been touched by others.
Please use your elbow when you are sneezing.
It's the one and only home that we have.
Please stay at home if you feel sick. Better still, contact the health team by dialing 4455.
Fight for coronavirus is the mass media. So I have opted for the media to be supported. However, some institutions, for reasons best known to themselves, decide to use the mass media as a tool against the fight on coronavirus. And by so doing, they are disseminating information that are fake, malicious, baseless, and not justified. If you choose to disseminate unverified information to the detriment of the state, you're certainly asking us to take two effective actions. One, keep it and you ask the revocation of your license until we're not going to call me, but we are cutting enough of that. We want to send out a message. There'll be no warning, absolutely no warning. This is the last warning. And you know me, I don't blink, I don't blush, I let you act. Secondly, if based on the publication made or pronouncement made by the Inspector General of Police, he said that the 3 o'clock deadline means you should be home by 3 o'clock. He didn't say that 3 o'clock you should leave the street. So if you are caught after 3 o'clock with your vehicle, that vehicle will be impounded until after the fight on COVID-19. These are the two messages we want to send forth. The President, pursuant to Article 86